We have shock reactions today from the European Union. There's just been a speech delivered really attacking very hard the United States US dollar dominance, and also a few choice words about President Trump. Now, also in this stream, we're going to look at unfortunately, a lot more pain ahead for the British citizens. I'm in the UK at the moment, as many of you know, traveling around, and I gotta say, some of the things I have seen in the last couple of days have even shocked me. And I've been around a lot of cities, but it has really shocked me, some of the things that I have witnessed. And also spoke to a lot of people. I'm speaking to as many people as I can everywhere, in the car park, in the escalator, in the on the lift. I said that was the wrong way around. Just people at reception, people in the stores, and I'm really getting a good insight now as to how people are feeling, and it's not the way the polls say. People are fed up, people are angry. Now let's go on to the main story then, and then we'll go over some of the other points. So this was the hearing then. This was the European Central Bank hearing hosted by Christine Lagarde. And this was her main speech. She talked about how the EU must seize this unique opportunity to supplant US dollar dominance. Now, it is a little bit more to it than that. She said that while President Trump, she's basically, and I'll paraphrase here, she's basically saying that President Trump has angered the world and people don't like him, and even his own citizens don't like him. That, she's gone on the rampage about it, which actually isn't correct if you look at the polls. But she's just gone on this rampage against him and said now is the perfect time to supplant the US dollar. Now is the time for the euro to shine. And some of the stuff I don't think President Trump is going to be very happy about at all when he hears about this speech, because some of it is quite nefarious. It reminds me, if you've ever read the book The 48 Laws of Power, or The Art of War. It's like pretend to be one way, but really you're doing this behind closed doors. And that is the EU for you. They look like these sweet women, don't they? When you look at them, they look very nice, and they smile and they say the right things. But actually, when you really read into their policies and you look at the things they do, it's worrying. I think it's nefarious, narcissists, some of them even. It's crazy. So let's go over a couple of points from her speech then. She said that this is an unprecedented opportunity to supplant the US dollar right now. The European Central Bank needs to take action. She said the current geopolitical instability provides EU policymakers with a unique window of opportunity, but we need to take the action right now. The world is in transition, Lagarde said. Geopolitical shifts and heightened policy uncertainty remind us that no currency's global position is guaranteed. It has to be earned. She then went on to talk about how the US has lost its privilege to hold the reserve currency because they can't handle their debts and because of the tariffs. Well, hold on, the EU have got massive debts as well. It's not as if the US has just got these debts. The EU has these huge debts as well. So, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. I think we all agree. The dollar has she then went on to say the dollar has fallen close to 12% against the euro since the start of this year, as investors have sought to hedge against US policy uncertainty under Trump's tariffs, and they are reducing their exposure to a dying dollar-denominated asset. Wow, I mean, this sounds like war talk to me more than friends and allies. Despite the slide, the greenback currently accounts for 60% of global foreign exchange reserves. This is something that's quite crucial. So the way she goes on is that no one wants these dollars anymore. She even talked about BRICS and how BRICS is dumping all of their dollar-denominated assets. They're moving away from the dollar. They're coming up with these plans against Trump. She keeps talking about Trump. She's obviously got a bee in her bonnet against Trump for whatever reason. Maybe it's just because she's a massive lefty and she just doesn't like him. I don't know. Not all. I mean, some people. Let me know in the comments what you think anyway of that. But it's crazy some of the stuff she's talking about. She says right now they have a 20% share, but they need to take over the US holdings here. She said a more global euro would allow businesses, households, and governments in the 20-country single currency area, she's talking about the euro here, to enjoy lower borrowing costs, much as global demand for dollar-denominated assets has allowed Washington the exorbitant privilege which they have now lost that right to. I mean, she just goes on and on and on. I mean, I'd love to know what you think about this in her comments. I'm going to be looking at the chat. Francis says, so why Europeans are blindly obeying? Yeah, it's the same thing everywhere, actually. If you look at this, it's the same thing going on everywhere. You look at, I hope you saw yesterday's video with the digital ID and the research I did there. I'm amazed people haven't put that together. That was probably 6 or 7 hours. That's all I spent on that, putting that research piece together. I'm amazed that more people haven't put this together, that this isn't just a coincidence that they've launched 21 digital IDs now, 21 different countries, all in the last year, on top of the ones that were launched the year before. It is absolutely... William says she wants the wars to continue as Trump heads for peace. I think that's a fairly accurate comment then. Elizabeth said Ursula is not popular, she is not elected. But that's the thing, none of these EU bureaucrats are elected. No one wants them, and yet they seem to have all of this power. Another one then, they've really doubled down. So not only did they hit the USA, but they also hit Britain yesterday. And they've threatened Britain with devastating tariffs. Let's break this one down a little more here. The European Union is threatening Britain's steel industry with tariffs of 50%. Now you might say, oh, well, it's just one industry. No. You look at the UK steel industry and where and how big it is, how many jobs and how important it is and where they export to, and you'll see there's a big issue here. 80% of Britain's steel exports go to the European Union, and they've said they want to hit Britain hard. Why do you want to hit Britain hard? And here's the other thing I think and this is the problem with Starmer. You know, we've talked before, he is a weak leader, an incredibly weak leader, and just no resilience. He's sort of too trusting, I'd say, as well, trying to be friends with everyone. He's very soft. He's trying to be friends with everyone and therefore not offend anyone. He's happy to offend us, right, and call people like me or you watching a right-wing extremist or something if you believe in typical family Christian values type things, right? Or if we want to protest on the street, we are extremists for wanting to protest and sign petitions. But yet you see these other things going on that are extreme, terror-related things, and no big deal kind of thing with a lot of this stuff. And all the incidents that are going on now, crime rates. I saw a really interesting talk show. I don't usually watch talk shows, but I saw this really interesting talk show earlier today. And it was this lady trying to talk about crime statistics. And she was explaining the crime statistics, and she had this chart, and she was trying to explain that crime has just exploded since all these new policies of allowing, different people into the country and everything else like that. And they were like, you're racist. You're a racist, you're this. And I'm thinking, just listen to her, hear her out. Why are you shouting? Why are they shouting at her and stopping her from speaking? All she's doing is telling the truth. I remember when this used to happen to me a lot, back in a few years back now, and I'd say, here's the statistics. Look, I've got the data here. This is from the Office of National Statistics. Oh, well, doesn't matter about those. People would get so angry. They'd say, it doesn't matter about the statistics. It's how people feel. about those statistics. At that point, you know you're speaking with someone that's irrational. You can't talk to them. They don't get it. They don't get it. Forget it. Leave the conversation. But that's similar to what we saw today with this talk show. I felt sorry for the lady. She was completely right on the crime, and there's something that came out. I didn't talk about it this week, but the British police now are no longer going to be investigating bike thefts. So your bike gets stolen, too bad. Like literally, they're not going to investigate it anymore. So you have let's say you've got a £2,000 e-bike. I know not everyone will have these. I haven't got a £2,000 e-bike. I've just got a normal road bike. But let's say my road bike, I don't even know how much I paid for it. Maybe £600 back in the day, something like that. If someone steals my £600 road bike, or let's say I have a £2,000 e-bike, police are not even going to investigate it. To them, it's just not even a big deal anymore. They don't want to investigate it. But I tell you what, you send a mean tweet and they will be on you. Or that little kid, the young boy, he was just a child who was fishing in the river, who got arrested, handcuffed by the police, taken away while his mum's crying. Broken Britain. That's what we are now in. It's terrible. Let me know your thoughts on that. But yeah, this is how much steel. I know we sort of skipped the steel, but this is how much steel the tariffs are now, 50%, whereas the US only has 25%. And I know where I was going with that. So Starmer, he just buckled under all these requests, and just gave away all the fishing rights, gave away all these rights to the EU, even though that was the whole point of leaving the EU. So he gave all these rights to the EU again, and now they've just done a U-turn. They're like, yeah, 50% tariff on your steel. And what's he going to do? Probably not a lot, because he's so soft and weak. He won't do anything about it. And digital ID cards. Okay, this is a crazy one. Here we go. Look at this one. Digital ID cards pave the way for 600 million tax grab. So this just came out as well. Digital IDs, where is it? Here it is. You can see it in text here. I've highlighted it for you. HMRC is seeking to fill in sections of tax returns automatically using digital ID as part of a push to secure unpaid revenue and prevent error by the public. I said, well, not just me, you as well. Many of you in the comments, we've been saying this, that people are fools. They're being tricked into this digital ID. People think, oh, well, it's to stop crime. It's to stop people crossing on boats across the channel. Oh, yeah. A digital ID is going to stop people. I mean, think of this rationally. When you hear people saying, yeah, it's to stop the boats, you got to say, are you okay? Are you feeling okay? How is a digital, nothing physical, digital ID going to stop someone getting in a boat and crossing the water? It makes no sense. These guys are paid cash in hand anyway. It's madness. Okay, so let me tell you how this continues on. A document published by a tax authority said that it was interested in exploring further how digital ID models supported by data and tech improvements can benefit the tax and customs system. No, not how it can benefit the people, how it can help them, less hassle, less stress. No, how it can benefit the government. This is the problem again. The government is forgotten its role. It's there for the people. It said that it could include pre-population of tax returns. The same document suggests it would help to collect tax that currently goes unpaid, making it easier to comply with their obligations. So this is the whole backdoor thing that they talked about, a backdoor access into people's bank accounts. And one of the things I talked about yesterday, I'll only just talk about this 20 seconds here, was that I used something, let me just show you this. If you didn't see this yesterday, check this out. Really, really good service. It's below in the comments here. But I was just showing that I use this service. I've used it for 2 years now. You can see it goes back to November 2023. And it's saved me a lot of time. And it basically removes your online data so people can't steal your online data. This has helped me massively, and that's why I always pass this on to you. They give me a 60% discount on the service, so have a look below in the description if you want to check that out. I highly recommend it. Now, here was another one then. Pressure grows on Rachel Reeves to roll out a knee-jerk tax raid on your pension lump sum. This is the one that I think a lot of pensioners are worried about at the minute, and I'm worried about as well. Not for me, because I don't have a pension. I built my own pension. But this is what the speculation is all around, that she's going to be going after pensioners. And that's why, if you've seen the statistics right now on how much people are pulling out of their pensions, it even shocked me when I saw this. Obviously, you've got to think this through because there's penalties and things like that. But the amount of money that's being pulled out of pensions right now is unbelievable, because people are getting worried. They're jumping ship as well. In my Patreon, which is my private community, I couldn't believe how many messages I've had in the last week on the same thing: how to pull out of my pension, how to escape the UK, where do I go? And I've just been answering messages non-stop, which I do, by the way. If you're in the private community, you can send me a personal message. You can ask me a question. I know you probably weren't aware of this, but yeah, you can actually do that. Okay, this was the other big one. This is the one that annoyed me. Are you ready for this? Millions in England face higher water bills after regulator backs more price rises. This is staggering. They've been given the green light to increase now your bills by, wait for this. Okay, so wait for this. So the 24% increase plus an additional 3%, 27% increase in your water bills. 27% increase in your water bills. I just can't believe it. And then let me show you this. So the 27% increase in your water bill, guess what? In 2021, because this is the recent one, England, these water companies in England and Wales paid out £2.5 billion in dividends. And they think the ballpark figure is somewhere between £1 and £3 billion that is paid out every single year. So £1 to £3 billion is paid out every year to shareholders of a lot of these water companies are not even UK owned. They're foreign entity owned now. And they've just the regulators allowed a 27% increase on the British people's water bills, which is then going to go out to pay, because they're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're dumping sewage, they're doing all the broken pipes, they're doing a terrible, terrible job. Oh, here's one. If you want to be really annoyed, okay, are you ready for this one? Here we go. Some people say, I'm shouting at the TV already. Charity took 70 migrants. This is a publicly funded charity out for the day at the seaside to get them over the trauma of coming to the UK by small boat. So they took them out on the day. By the way, the thing I noticed about this image was, you see all the graffiti everywhere. This is what I notice wherever I go in the UK. Graffiti. And I thought it was funny that they made out, look, it's all women. They said, oh, all women. No, it's not. Don't fall for all of these tricks. They had to get the flag in there, of course. Don't fall for all of these tricks. The people coming across on the boats are not all women. It's not all women and children. They keep talking about it all the time. And people believe it. Look for yourself. Just look at the footage. It's not women. It's not children. It's men. People are blind. I don't know what else to say. Thanks so much for being online, being a subscriber here. Really appreciate it. As always, take care. God bless. I'll see you on the next one.